To the very first Bloodsick Underground Film Fest. My name is Brewce Longo. I'm here with some of my festival co-organizers here, Ryan Petrillo, Josh Christensen, and Kasper Meltedhair. So we've been doing Bloodsick Underground Cinema as like an official series for, we're coming up close to 2 years now. Eric and Rob here at PhilaMOCA have been really cool about giving us a home for Bloodsick ever since we started making our like shitty shot video horror movies. And about 2 years ago, I just started like bringing in some other just like weird filmmakers that I like. I think the first one was David "The Rock" Nelson, who will be here later today. And then we had Jorg Buttgereiet, made his first movie in 25 years, shot video legend. And then I had brought in Josh Christensen, a mumblecore guy who made this Invader horror film. And then I pitched this fourth movie by Dylan Greenberg called Spirit Riser, and Eric was just like, why don't I just give you 1 day a month and you show whatever you want, which is really cool. So with approaching 2 years, I've just met so many really awesome filmmakers, and we brought in a lot of really cool stuff. David "The Rock" Nelson in the house, everyone. Along with DiFrancesco, who's also one of the organizers. So, so it's been really cool running underground cinema these last 2 years. But I show one movie a month, so like with 12 months out of a year, and one of them going to one of my films, it basically limits me to like 10 or 11 films that I want to show from other filmmakers. And I thought this festival would be a really cool way to sort of like take the next step up with underground cinema. And we invited a lot of our filmmaker friends that we know and love that have new work. And we also opened up submissions just to the masses. And we got so many really, really awesome films submitted. Some from people that we know. And some from people that we had never heard of that really, really impressed us. Jay Crimson especially will be playing his movie second today. And I was like, this is a really cool way to play more than like a dozen films a year. And so thank you so much. We're playing lots of weird, crazy shit today. And the genres are kind of all over the place today. I mean, we're starting off like nasty with like an underground classic, then we're gonna get even nastier with Private Line and Lilith. And then we'll get sort of like weirder with Teenage Gargoyle. There's some more sort of art house shot video stuff from Erica Schreiner and Andy Boyd, and then it gets like a classic monster movie with Voltaire, and then like really silly toward the end of the night with Mulva. I don't know. And Curse of the Baby Eater with Joe Bizarro is sort of kind of in the middle. I feel like it's sort of funny, sort of horror. I don't know. I feel like there's a huge range of genre and styles here, but there's a through line of like every movie is like very low budget, DIY passion projects from independent people, non-studio, non-Hollywood films. This is like the real underground, Anything you guys want to add here?
Just that I think there's going to be something for everyone, and you'll feel a lot of energy throughout the entire day because there's so much passion in all these projects, and there's some of them are going to be very funny and some of them are very disgusting, and so I think that will please a lot of you guys. So. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Bloodsick has no cookie cutters and Bloodsick has no mirrors. Bloodsick is as raw and as real as the guts and blood inside you right now. Bloodsick proves that everyone is a wizard of their own art as long as you puke your soul out and not as sterile soup of Hollywood.
Well said.
I just want to say stick around for Moldo, the new Chris Seaver movie, because Seavage never disappoints. And yeah, if you haven't seen one of those movies, this might be a good one to start with. But yeah, it's got a little creature feature, lots of comedy, lots of inappropriate jokes, and farts and stuff. Yeah.
We will have a Q&A after every feature film. Starting with, after Necromantic, we'll have Jorg via Zoom, and then everyone else will be here. And I think about 50% of the short film filmmakers are here, and so they'll do an intro. And yeah, thanks to everyone for coming out, guys, and Necromantic.
And it just turned into its own thing.
Speaking of the clocks, I mean, some of like my favorite things about this movie is like the insane editing. I mean, like you got like the clocks that are sort of like turning, and I mean, lots of really bizarre choices.
Like old school ways to do stuff, which I wanted to do. And I love filming on outdated media. My phone's over there, and that's the exact phone I filmed this on.
The whole thing's shot itself
On a Android Motorola E6.
Hell yeah, dude. It goes to
The
show
whole
you,
movie, yeah.
It goes to show you what you can accomplish with basically nothing.
Color correction, dude. I can do a lot. I can hide impurities and the ones you don't want, because sometimes there's happy accidents all the time.
I wanted to ask about casting. The lead, the Lilith in this. I mean, you put her through the ringer. I mean, she's pissing on camera, puking. She's eating like maggots.
We were dating for half of it.
Oh, yeah.
And I specify half of it. Nah, we're cool.
She's a
We're
trooper.
getting married to a new guy. It's cool.
I don't have too much to say, but the film kind of speaks for itself. It was sort of just thrown together whenever the eclipse was happening a few years ago, and I started to see, everyone is so excited about the eclipse, like it's the greatest thing that ever happened. Oh, I can wait for the eclipse, blah, blah, blah. And then at the same time, I was seeing all this other stuff where people thought the eclipse was the end of the world, and real disturbing sort of, theories about the eclipse. And so I was just kind of being bombarded with these two different sides. And then at the same time, I was out in the yard doing some yard work, and the eclipse happened, and I thought, I wonder if I should just shoot this on Super 8. And I had a roll of film in the fridge, and I shot it. And I kind of was messing with the glasses in front of the lens, and it just turned out really crazy. And then I took you'll see. But anyway, I kind of just made a little sort of upsetting portrait of the eclipse, I guess.
And Jim has a lot of really cool, interesting documentaries about outsider artists. If you like this, check out, Jim has a lot of really cool other work out there.
Thank you for that. Thanks, Bruce.
How many medallions did you spend creating this one?
What?
Medallions, money.
Fuck. Zach, you want to take that?
It was pretty low. The mask and the wings, that was probably the high point of the budget. A bunch of spider stuff.
The camera that I took from work. It's right there, actually.
Oh, yeah.
What was your favorite film to see, or favorite scene to film, and why?
I mean, this movie means so much more to me now than it ever has. So anything with Doyle in it's great.
Totally, yeah. Just some weird questions I wrote, but if you played the movie backwards, would the audience turn into gargoyles or teenagers?
Yeah, half and half. This size gargoyle, this size. But you got like 5 seconds, so like go to the other side. We won't tell you when it's gonna happen.
My first movie was a mumblecore movie. My second movie was an exploitation porn star thriller demon movie. And this movie, I don't even know what you call that. What's next? Well, I'm working on a couple of things. One big thing that I'm really excited about is, I don't know if we can air this on, yeah, of course we can air this on the internet. But I am working on an edit of Ernest versus Jason. It's called Showdown at Camp Crystal Lake. So if you guys don't know this, there are actually 9 Friday the 13th movies before he goes to outer space. And there are 9 Ernest films. So, no, he goes to Africa and that, yeah, we include that, Janice. So anyway, I cut Ernest and Jason together into this thing that we're working on, where Ernest battles Jason. But no, I'm just joking, okay. I actually did do that, but no, I'm working on a new movie called Operation Fangboner, or the Mystery of the Blue Fang. And it's a dystopian, black and white, film noir spy movie set in a Eraserhead, Philadelphia, shout out, style world. So that's my next thing. And I'm kind of thinking about going a little more, lower more budget. And I want to, just take a little quicker way to get there. Because these movies have taken me way too long. But I do appreciate you guys taking the time to sit here and watch it with me.
You know who John Brennan is? You guys ever watch Joe Bob's
What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. Thank you. I just want to thank you so much, and everybody who put on this amazing festival, and all the artists who showed their work today. There's some amazing stuff going on. I'm really excited, and I also thank you for taking my phone call a few, maybe a year or two ago. We didn't even know each other, and I was like, can I call you? Just talk about some VHS, shot on VHS. This is the guy, so if anybody needs advice, he's the man.
First of all, do you know what it was like to just get a phone call from the guy from Joe Bob's show? Like, hey, I need some advice on making a shot on video movie. Who the fuck am I?
You're the blood sick guy, man. I saw your stuff all over the internet. So I want to find something real quick.
Are you from Long Island?
I am actually. That's why in the person, the baby eater, I was laughing so hard. That woman is definitely from Long Island. Let's see. Okay, so the movie you're about to see, Never Finger Bang a Wendigo. I just want to shout out my brother and my cousin David are in here somewhere who's starring it with me. And my beloved, and my producer and my co-writer, and she shot this on a malfunctioning VHS camera, Liz Shack. This movie is imbued with some sort of supernatural energy, 100%. We were shooting it out on Long Island, on Shelter Island, and while I was shooting the fire for this movie, we were playing fire songs like Fire by the Ohio Players, etc., etc. And I got a call from my landlord, and it went something like this. John, your apartment is on fire. Now, if you didn't hear that, she said, John, your apartment is on fire. Okay? And so I'm like, what the fuck? And I was on shrooms at the time. So I was like, is this real life right now? So we got a call from Liz's brother, etc., etc. Turns out our apartment was on fire. Okay? And I, in my shroom head, go, the Wendigo did this. This is the Wendigo, because we're making art about the Wendigo. She wasn't too happy about it. God help us all. We lost 90% of our stuff. Flash forward to a year later, we finished the movie and we went to the property where the Wendigo was shot. We screened the movie. It was an amazing weekend. I turned to the woods. People witnessed this, and I said, I just want to thank you, Wendigo, for allowing us to make art about you. And there were witnesses. We heard, truth. So, without further ado, here's Never Finger Bang a Wendigo.
Have you guys ever heard of David Rock Nelson?
Where's my double hand? Where's my double hand?
We're a little ahead of schedule, so I told David you could do an intro. Who here has seen a David the Rock Nelson movie before? Not a large percentage. I am here to tell you this is unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Why am I sticking movie? Frank Sinatra son, saying my first movie. I was going to quit after that. And I thought, well, 20 years from now, I can sit back and say, yeah, we made that movie back in 1992 or 3. 91 to 93 took me 11 months to finish that. Yeah, and I remember I sent it to the Film Threat video guy, and I thought, oh, they'll like it, right? They'll probably get a 10, you know, because it's like anti-Saddam Hussein movie, you know? Saddam Hussein, not Saddam Hussein. And I play Saddam, and I battle Frankenstein, Dracula, the werewolf, Bush Senior. My dad plays Bush Senior, and I have him do like a Sugar Ray Leonard punch. And I got this thing that, you know, those plastic things that twirl around and make a noise. They go, wee, wee, wee. Well, that's how I made the noise for the flying saucer in Demon Monster from Outer Space. When Conrad Brooks' brothers see the flying saucer, they go, look, well, I'll be a son of a gun. And that's Conrad Brooks' brother, Henry Badierski. Those guys were in John Waters' Female Trouble. They were in a bar scene, you know. Henry's the drunk guy in the alley in Female Trouble. They're both in John Waters' movies, and Conrad Brooks was the cop in Plan 9 from Outer Space. He goes, it's tough to find something when you don't know what you're looking for. So I got Conrad came up to me at the Famous Monsters '93, and he goes, hey, I'm Conrad Brooks. I was in the worst movie of all time. Come over, and I go, yeah, I've heard of you, but what's the big deal? What's the big deal about Plan 9? I had never seen it, right? I like the Frankenstein movies, you know, Boris Karloff. This shall be a thriller, my friend. So come with me, my friend, come with me before it's too late. He used to host Thriller back in the 60s. He used to watch it. We watched The Untouchables. Elliot Ness was my childhood hero. The Untouchables will be back in a moment. Brought to you by, you know, Mattel or whatever. You know, that's the way they did it back in the 60s. Brought to you by, now they just cut in with a commercial about drugs or death insurance. Yeah, don't be like Dave. Call us number now. And I tell my girlfriend, I said, be like Dave. Don't buy that stinking death insurance. because like I said about the giant horny toad monster, my movie, I made a little ad, and I go, get your rock fiend death insurance, because you won't be around to enjoy it, because you don't know if the horny toad monster will eat you up when you leave the theater. So, yeah, but anyway, buy my stinking movie. Yeah, there is. You want it? Yeah. There's 20 stinking bucks. Yeah, I 20 stinking bucks. You know, he talks to the side parts, he puts stuff, and he keeps it safe. It's got Velcro, and I got my little pen light so I can see where I'm going.
You got sandwiches in there?
Oh, yeah, I got munchies. I carry them in, so I got good. Oh, Miss Werewolf, there you go, another one. Miss, thank you, sir. 20 stinking bucks. I'm rich. I finally made it to the big time. You know? I gotta see Miss Werewolf. I got Demon Monster from Outer Space, Fishman. When I turn myself into a fishman, I go, I'll show those idiots down at medical school that said I couldn't make a fishman. I will show them. So, you know, I will turn myself into a fishman. So, and Bigfoot Runs Amok, the worst Bigfoot movie of all time. With a 30-minute
Filmed right here in PhilaMOCA.
Filmed right here in 2016 when Eric Bresler, right before Eric Bresler and Carrie Bresler? Carly Bresler, sorry. I'm talking so fast, you know. But anyway, yeah, Eric and Carly Bresler, they got married. He wanted me to finish it.
Final thoughts before dinner.
And starring Sean Coleman as in the Bigfoot costume. But I wanted to do extra scenes, so I wore my over-the-head werewolf mask that I used in Werewolf vs. the Witch. And now it sits in Brewce Longo's house on display with his other masks. So go to the Brewce Longo Museum and you can see it for free. But I was going to say, so yeah, you can see the mask, and here's my Gator Man. This is the old edition, though, that I finished about 5 months ago. But you're going to see the new updated one today with new scenes as good old, mean old, bad old Farmer Nelly, right? I'll get that stinking Gator Man. I'll get the law after him. Okay. I'll say, if I'm stinging movies on my devil ant will get you. You'll be world famous. You're now world famous and world renowned, and your name will be enshrined among the immortals. Like Dr. Frankenstein says in Son of Frankenstein, Basil Rathbone, he later played Sherlock Holmes, he goes, That would vindicate my father, and his name would be enshrined among the immortals. Benson, turn on the generator, son of Frankenstein. Boris Karloff. You gotta watch those old movies, man. Let your kids see the classics. House of Frankenstein with Glenn Strange, who was the bartender on the TV show Gunsmoke. That big guy with a mustache, that's Glenn Strange. He's my favorite Frankenstein. He was an Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Good fun for the whole family. Show it to your kids. Show them the original King Kong, 1933, not the new one. The original King Kong with it, he walks like this, and he boxes like Joe Frazier, who's from Philly. Smoking Joe Frazier. Smoking Joe. I don't say I'm sick. It's a going. Where is it?
Let's
Wait. I'm not done. Hello. I'm Smoking Joe Frazier. I was at his gym in '85. June of '85, he was my favorite fighter. I met him 3 times, and I saw him working out. And I told him he's my favorite fighter. But that's why I got into boxing. Yes, I got the name of The Rock. My boxing coach gave me the name The Rock. He said, call yourself The Rock. That was in 1989. Greg Ozimek, who's now a college professor, Albuquerque University. Greg Ozimek. Anyway, so he gave me the name Rock. I had 26 amateur fights. I boxed in the Philippines and the Marines on the Subic Bay boxing team. 77, 78. I won my first fight, lost by 7 to the guy called Bizarro. He was an all-Marine champion, so that's okay. I gave it my best. You're not going to win them all. My record is 5 wins, 19 losses, and 1 draw. But I think I really deserve 10 wins because the fights were real close. I always gave it my best. At least I had the guts to get in the stinking ring. Now I had guys that said, oh, you lost the fight, why do you box? Because I said, because if I keep on going, I know I'll come against somebody I can beat. And I don't quit. Marines don't quit, man. Just because you lose, you got to get up and try again. Joe Frazier, the song is, things don't go your way. Hold off, come back another day, but try it again. You got to try it again. Oh, so that's what Joe Frazier song. With his rock with the knockouts, he said that. Yeah, I still got it. Are you jealous of me?
I'm jealous of your body!
All right.
He's 69 and he's still got it. David the Rock Nelson, everyone. Game Man is about to begin, and we'll have David back up for Q&A afterwards. Thank you, everyone.
I don't drink much, but once in a while I like to have a few on with these film fests. I want to hang out with Chris Taylor, who was in Joe Bizarro's movie. Chris Taylor's a good guy.
Any more shirts?
Oh yeah, hey, I'll give it to you later. After the movie. Okay, I gotta shut them. Sit down like my mom said, David, shut up and let somebody else talk.
Everybody like that one? I think there's a chance that that's the funniest movie ever made. In the history of monster movies.
Yeah, I got something to give away. Here's I know that other guy out
What's
there.
the Dago shirt?
I got a signed Dago t-shirt signed by The Rock. That's it. There you go. I got another one. This one of my dad's shirts and I wore it there. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I got a magic trick I can't get rid of. I got this magic coloring book, see? The pages are blank though, see? So I'm going to say the magic words, hocus pocus dominocus. Oh look, now it's got pages. Oh! My magical powers. Hocus pocus, monster bash, and son of ghoul. Okay. Okay, I gotta do it again. Hold on. That was natural gas. Okay, now I'm gonna make them in color. Hocus Pocus, Monster Bash, Boris Karloff, Frankenstein, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. Okay. Oh, good. Oh yeah, I got this other trick I was gonna show you. Hold on a second. Okay, you move forward a little bit so you don't see how I do it. See nothing in my hand? See nothing in my hand? Oh, there's a fire. And here I got a quarter. Okay. See this quarter? There you go. Oh, it's in my ear. Look. Comes off the ear. Well, it's okay. So this here. Here we go. Comes out the other one. Okay. I'm going to go through my washing machine now. I'm not comes out my nose. Okay. Now you probably don't want to wait about the boogers on the creature or the gator man. Okay, here you go. Catch. Oh, look. It's in your hair. It's like I look like my sister. So anyway, how's it going? Oh, yeah, that Mike Johnson, you been a doctor? That's footage from a movie I shot in 1992. It was going to be Werewolf versus Frankenstein. But every day I wanted to film the fight scenes, Mike Johnson says, yeah, I gotta work, Dave, I gotta work. That's the way he talks. So I dubbed up my voice over his because that was for a different movie. I changed the title because he didn't do the fight scene. I kept trying to do the fight scenes in front of this old abandoned house. They had an old gate and everything, like the monsters. It was a purple, red, pink, and yellow house. All different colors, like psychedelic, and it had an old gate, and they were gonna tear it down, so I wanted to film the fight scenes in front of it. But Mike Johnson keeps saying I gotta work, Dave, so, yeah, they tore it down, so I never finished the movie. So I changed the title to Werewolf, Dr. Johnson Meets the Werewolf. It's on my Volume 2 thing with Werewolf vs. Dracula, Dracula from Space, and Frankenstein Meets John Payne Fakey. That's where I play a parody of Gacy. And instead of hunting people, I hunt monsters. I go, hey, I pick up the Frankenstein monster, also played by Mike Johnson, the guy who played Doctor. He plays the monster in Frankenstein versus Saddam Hussein, Dracula versus Saddam Hussein, and he plays Saddam Hussein in the Werewolf versus Saddam Hussein. He doubles for me. I play Saddam Hussein. I go, I will get the Frankenstein monster. I will show him who's the, And then I battle Bush, Anyway, so then, but he plays the monster in Frankenstein Meets John Payne Fakey, which is a parody of Gacy. And I play the Gacy guy. He lives 6 miles from my house. When I lived in
David lived in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, he lived on Sunnyvale or Sunnydale or whatever, the name of the street. They tore down his old house. They got a new house there. I went over there once to see it, and then this dog was barking at me, and this dog followed me around the house, and I knocked the door. I said, "Help! Your dog's coming after me!" I got scared. He's gonna bite me. But I play the case. I go, "Hey, Frankie, you want to make some money?" And he goes, "No, that's all right. I'm trying to pick up the Frankenstein monster, And I say, "Hey, Frankie, you want to make some money?" He goes, "No, that's all right." "Hey, Frankie, I'll tell you what. How about $1 an hour?" He goes, "No, that's all right." I go, "Okay, Frankie, how about $1.25 an hour?" He goes, "Yeah, I could use the extra quarter. The extra quarter will help out." So Frankenstein gets in my car, and I drive him down the driveway of my house, and we use the garage for my hideout. There's a fake sign that says Fakey's Bungalow. It's John Payne Fakey instead of Gacy, because he's a fake and he's a pain in the ass. So, but anyway, I give him a drink, and he goes, "Hey, this is pretty good soda pop." And it's really, I pretends like it's drugged, and then, we get into a battle. Frankenstein, anyway, you gotta get it. Frankenstein is John Payne Fakey on my Volume 2. But anyway, but Mike Johnson died like 4 years before this movie was made. He died 4 years ago. Yeah. And his brother and I used to lift weights at Maine South High School in Park Ridge. We used to lift weights. His brother was in the gold group at Maine South. He could do one-handed push-ups and stuff. He could do push-ups on his fingertips and all that stuff. But and he was a fireman for like 35 years. Len Johnson, his brother. So Len appears in Howl of the Werewolf. I did in 2019. He's a victim of it. He gets attacked by the werewolf. Where I let my beard grow real long. Longer than Eric Bresler's beard. That's long. I had a lot longer. My hair was down my shoulders like this guy. What's your name again? John, the horror filmmaker. Yeah. The guy that bought 3 of my DVDs today. And he bought Pumpkin Man movies from Brewce Longo.
And I want a shirt.
And you want a shirt? Oh yeah, I got shirts up here. What do I do with my shirts? Oh, I think they're in here. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you guys should check out David's YouTube channel just to see the biblical stuff he did during the pandemic.
Yeah, even though you're too big to fit in it, this guy was like an XX. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got Gator Man shirts here. Yeah. Okay, I got like 3 of them. Okay, this one here.
Gatorman attacks.
This one here is, I think, a medium. Okay.
Does anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions for David?
David, let me get an XL shirt.
Is this the XL? Okay, then this one
40
must be
stinking
medium.
bucks, come on now. Come on. Buy a shirt.
I got one on here. Who wants a medium? What do you want to There you go. Yeah, okay. Well, nice talking to you. I got no magic trick. If you want to see it later, I can do it later. Okay, I'll see you.
Anyone have any questions? No? You got the movie speaks for itself. I love how you reference the movie with the movie. it's like aside from like that scene in Spaceballs, I feel like that's never.
So you'll be world famous and world renowned, and your name will be enshrined among the immortals. Just like Dr. Frankenstein, who created Frankenstein's daughter in 1958. Larry Buchanan's one of my favorite filmmakers. He did he didn't do Night Fright. That was directed by James A. Sullivan, with the music by the Wildcats, and Scotty McKay, I think, did music for that. Yeah, and Scotty McKay did the music for Creature of Destruction. A couple songs. He's the one that sung that Batman song. Have you ever read Creature of Destruction by Larry Buchanan, which is sort of like a sequel to It's Alive, not the one with the babies, with the band. That was a Larry Cohen movie. That was a Larry Cohen movie. That was like '74. This is the '69 version of It's Alive with Tommy Kirk. You gotta make sure it's got Tommy Kirk, who used to be in Disney movies, in his greatest role ever. So and then Zontar, the thing from Venus with John Agar. That's a Larry Buchanan movie. That's a remake of It Conquered the World with Roger Corman, 1956, which is my favorite Roger Corman movie, up there with Wasp Woman from 1960. It's where this woman turns into like a wasp monster with bee extract from wasps. That original, not the remake. Make sure it's the 1960 version with Susan Cabot as the Wasp Woman, directed by Roger Corman in the 50s. That's when he would crank out 2 movies in like 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks. They asked him to make 1 movie, he'd make 2 movies with the same set, different areas. He had what Samuel Ziarkov said, he had cheap jeans, because he made the studio a lot of money. He could make movies with less money. You don't need $30,000 to make a movie. Just stick the tape in a machine and film the dang thing. It doesn't have to be released by Columbia or Universal or so-and-so people. It doesn't have to be on national TV. If you made a movie, it's still a real movie. And I want you to preserve your movies and don't give anybody your master tape. Always give them a copy of your master. And they say, I want the master. Forget it. One guy wanted my master video. He says, I can put it on DVD. It only costs $300, and I'll give you a good DVD, and you can use it to make copies with it. $300 for a DVD copy of my master? He says, I need your master of, Mummy 93, whatever. I said, no, you can only get a copy. And I said, he kept trying to talk me into it. I said, no, I think I can get a DVD recorder for like $100 when they come on sale in a few months or whatever. And guess what? They had them on sale for $45 an after Christmas sale. $45 for a brand new DVD recorder. So I started using that. I used that at the beginning, and then I wanted one that was better, that put it in chapters, that made better copies. So later on, I got one for $176. That's when I started putting my videos on DVD in 2007. That's when I got that good DVD recorder. So you don't need a computer to make a movie. I got this camera in Target. That Max Pro thing, the little Max Pro. And I thought, that's a good camera. I can bring it in my pocket and film stuff without carrying the big camera, right? Because I use a CX240, Sony. CX240 I use. You have a little micro memory card. But when you're taking that memory card out, make sure you're not standing in the grass. It can pop out, you can lose it. Make sure when you exchange the memory card, you're on a flat surface like a floor, and it's well lit. and have your finger blocking it because it pops out. It's spring loaded. Don't let it, if it pops out in the grass, you won't find it. Make sure you're in a lit area and you can see where that thing is. And be very careful and put it back in a box or put it back in like a adapter thing. That's right. Sometimes you got to put in an adapter.
I think that's all the time.
But, anyway, I just want to say something. That little camera I bought, at Target, I took it home. I was going to bring it here and film stuff, and it says it has to be used with internet access. It's got all these little buttons. Just give me a camera with a record button and so I can film the dang thing. I don't need to touch all these dang buttons and I have to go on the computer to use it. I want to pick the camera out of my pocket and film. I don't need to go on the computer first. They should still make video cameras, man. VHS. They should still make VCRs, because us old school guys, we like that stuff, right? Bizarro and Josh out there in Austin, Texas, what's his name? Josh, the guy that is a big VHS.
Josh Schaefer?
Yeah, Josh Schaefer, who does that magazine. What's it called?
Lunch Meat.
Lunch Meat, yeah. Like we like VHS. I'm like Darmoth. Is it Darmoth or Darmoth? Darmoth, the guy that wrote the little zine out there in Austin, Texas, wrote that little zine. He says, keep it on rock, keep it on VHS. He said that at Alamo Drafthouse Cinema in 2012 when they had a Dave Rucknelson Film Fest. And that was like one of my greatest moments. Thanks for Josh Johnson for getting me down there, and Zach Carlson, who was in charge of Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. It's no longer there, but they still have the Alamo, but not the Alamo Drafthouse Ritz where I was at. Next to that, what's that like horror house they have next door? It's like a museum of oddities. Right on the same street where Alamo Drafthouse Cinema was at, the Ritz, they had this Museum of Oddities. And then there's what?
Museum of the Weird.
Museum of the Weird in Austin, Texas. That guy Dave, and tell Dave I said hi. Tell him that the Rock sent you. Because they got a lot of cool stuff. They got like a life-size issue of Dracula and Frankenstein and King Kong. Yeah. And so, thanks those guys for getting me down to the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. Zach Carlson and Josh Johnson, who did Rewind This, a documentary that I'm in for like 5 minutes. I got way more screen time than J.R. Bookwater. I got more screen time than Elvira. Because they gave me like a good Rewind This by Josh Johnson. I got 5 minutes, and because of that, I got to go to Austin, Texas. And one of the dreams I had was to be in the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema, because I saw those guys on a late night show with what's his face? What's that guy's Carson Daly? Carson Daly. I said, man, I want to go down there, and I was hoping I got to go down there, man. So thank you, Josh Johnson, thank Carlson, thank Eric Blizzard for having me down here in 2016. The Viceland documentary with that guy who's I gotta shut up now. My mom says, David, shut up and let somebody else talk. Okay.
So good job, and
Okay, so next up is I Saw a Car by Andy Heck Boyd. So Andy Heck Boyd is absolutely one of the most prolific outside artists of our time. He has made more art than anyone I've ever heard of. He started out making stop motion films when he was a kid. He's made thousands of paintings, hundreds of comics, hundreds, maybe thousands of short films, hundreds upon hundreds of tape cassettes of vocal and sound art, Super 8 photography, drawings, all kinds of other types of art that have been in galleries all over the world. His personal favorite accomplishments are his cartoon animations. Some of the most successful artists today have said that they're constantly inspired by Andy's work. I recommend checking out his tape talks on Bandcamp if you want a brand new, brain-opening experience. He uses these tape talks as a way to privately study his own mind. Andy lives and breathes art every day and night, often clanking away his thoughts for hours on an old typewriter, and I should know because I'm married to him. So here's Andy's film we filmed in our living room, I Saw a Car.
Do you guys have, can we ask for questions?
Absolutely. Yes.
This isn't really much of a question, but I was with a woman who passed away due to substance abuse, and I felt like that was a symptom of what you felt and what you spoke about philosophically and psychologically in your work. And I saw a lot of her in it, so.
In all the films or it's
All of them, every single one. I can imagine her yelling at me if I were like laughing. If we were watching this by myself, I'd be like, oh, this is, I don't know how to adjust. She'd be like, this is fucking important. And I want you to know that I felt that and about that, so. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course, so thank you.
Yes.
A question about your process. I work in a school. Do you have any strategies for cleaning up glitter?
You know, I've been asked a lot of practical questions, but I don't think I've gotten that one. It's, I get it wet and a lot of paper towels and a hand vacuum, and it just goes on for a long time. Days and days, yeah.
Okay, well, I have, I feel like we can tell them the thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, the next thing that you're working on, or at least something that you're working on,
We're writing a film together.
Yeah, Eric and I are writing a film together.
We don't want to probably say too much, but a lot of people in this room will probably be working on it. And, it may or may not be about a UFO death cult. But it'll probably be something way more than that. It'll probably be a very different film for me.
And for me.
And for you, yeah.
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 Bringing in your horror kind of stuff and my deep spiritual stuff.
Yeah. So, we're currently writing that and hoping to shoot it this summer. And, maybe it'll be out next year. I don't know.
Wish us luck.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You've done some collaborations in the past with who I would think of as being like icons of the Gothic pantheon. I mean, Gary Newman narrated, is it Okudoro? Is that the?
Gary Newman narrated my film Odokuro. These are all stop motion shorts.
If you've not seen this is also on Voltaire's YouTube page, and it's beautiful, and the twist at the end is it's incredible. Yeah, there's a little twist there. And also Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance.
Gerard Way,
Xmas Detritus.
Xmas Detritus. Deborah Harry of Blondie narrated one of my films. We were dating at the time.
Oh snap!
Richard Butler of the Psychedelic Furs narrated one of my. We were not dating.
Well, I do have a question about who you were. If you were
Danny
dating.
Elfman did one.
Oh, cool. Were you dating Doug Bradley? Because that's a major collaboration right there. And I thought it was very poetic to have Doug Bradley of Pinhead Hellraiser fame portray a quite serious, earnest priest of the Catholic Church. So, what was it like to work alongside him?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
I was on pins and needles the whole time.
Good.
Thank you. But I'm bummed. Now, I've known Doug for many, many, many years because as a musician, I've been booked at a lot of the same conventions where he's been a guest. So I met him at least a decade, if not 2 decades ago. And he's always been super friendly and super cool, as anybody who's met him knows. And then when we decided to make this film, because I co-wrote, co-directed, and co-starred in this film with my very dear friend Jeff Farrell, who plays Rhett, Lita's live-in servant. And he was like, hey, I was thinking Doug Bradley for this part. And so we reached out to him, and he was very gracious, and he agreed to do it. And I only have one, I'm gonna put this down because I feel like an alcoholic. Because I am one. And I only have one complaint about Doug Bradley, and that is that this is my very first time starring in a feature film. Like, I've had bit parts in movies like Velocipaster, and Debbie Rashan's Model Hunger. I'm really looking forward to seeing the next film, especially because of Debbie. Oh God, I should tell you the story about the bracelet, but we'll get to that. But I've never been like the lead in a horror film, and I've directed shorts, but I've never directed a feature film. So as it happens, day one on set is Doug Bradley. So I'm like, oh, God, like, couldn't we do the Doug scenes like at the end once I've like, you know, sort of gotten my legs and like been in front of the crew directing for a week?
Yeah. And I brought up the Demon and Doug Bradley, but your acting, I mean, this was really your biggest acting role probably ever, right? I
Yes,
mean,
indeed.
and I thought you really brought the chops.
I appreciate that. I don't consider myself a very good actor, but I'm a hell of a pretender. I've been pretending since childhood.
That works.
So Jeff Farrell, who's your close friend that you wrote this with and you worked with. So, I mean, obviously there are some references or allusions to The Exorcist and a little bit to Rosemary's Baby. I feel like tonally maybe it's more the Alex de la Iglesias Dave the Beast kind of thing, which is a favorite film of mine. Was there a sort of a North Star film that you guys were looking towards? I mean, this does have a very own tone to it, but
you know, I think Jeff and I, the cool thing about having a buddy is that you tend to like all the same stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so we both love The Exorcist, we both love Rosemary's Baby, but we both also love, you know, Night of the Beast. Fright Night was like a big inspiration for this. You know, I kind of wanted it to have sort of like a fun 80s feel to it. You know, like I didn't want it to be too serious, which has been like a little bit of a problem because it's not like serious enough for like serious horror fans to be like, oh, that was terrifying, because it's clearly not terrifying. Nor is it slapstick enough, you know, because being an alumnus of the Velocipaster, when I said I was making a movie called The Demonatrix, people were like, oh, this is going to be wonderfully ridiculous. And it's not really hilarious enough to be in that category either. So I mean, this is really very much the way I see things, and if you listen to my music, you know, you'll probably see a thread there.
I was going to say there's a balance between the whimsical and the serious in your
you know,
music.
it's like life.
Which
It's
is
a little bit
represented here.
scary, it's a little bit funny, it's a little bit tragic.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of everything.
Last time we showed one of your films here was Death Lantern, which
Part 3.
Yeah, which, you know, I think you have these sort of like two different styles of filmmaking where like you'll sort of like intentionally try to make like a shitty shot on video movie, and then there's something like this where you try to like go big and go hard. Like what's that process difference to you?
Well, this is pressure. I mean, we're making, you know, we're being paid to make the movie. There's a producer who's like, I gotta do it for. And then the shot on VHS shit, we're just like, we don't give a fuck. You know, like it's just fun. And it's more reminiscent of what I did growing up in the 80s. You know, I would just pick up the camera and go with my friends and do that. And that's, you know, when we do the shot on VHS stuff, it's just it's a party. Like half the day we shoot and half the day we just sit around and watch movies and grill and eat burgers and shit, you know what I mean? But on these days, and this was a 4-day shoot. Usually we shoot 2 to 3 days for the features that we do.
You threw a whole extra day.
We did. This was like huge for us. 4 days was like, oh my God, how are we gonna fill the dates? You know?
When you say producer, that's Mr. Bookwalter.
J.R. Bookwalter, yeah. So I made 15 movies for him over 25 years.
So going back to, you know, the original Mulva, so each Mulva movie, you've got a different person playing Mulva, but I love that you still brought Debbie Rochon back.
I had to.
Yeah.
Debbie has been my buddy for 25 years, and this was her 10th movie with us.
Did you ever consider keeping her as Mulva, or did you always want to keep it new?
No. It was going to be a whole new thing. I was never going to play Bone Jack again.
Why not?
I was hesitant if I should have asked about Bone Jacker.
But yeah, so Debbie, it was a tradition, you know. I mean, Trauma produced that first Mulva movie. You know, that was they put a lot of shit behind it, and you know, it was Doug Sackman, rest in peace, that he
hooked us up with Debbie and Trent and all those guys, and we just became, Debbie and I became fast friends, and then she kept making movies with us, because like Debbie can do anything. She's just so fucking good at everything she does, and so when she comes to a Chris Seaver movie, it's just play. It's just, she knows she's just gonna goof around and have a good time the whole time, and she keeps saying yes, you know? But yeah, like, you know, thanks to JR, thanks to Doug Sackman, thanks to Debbie. I had been making movies. This was my 35th year making shit. And amazing. 10 years prior was all just like shot on, VHS shit until we did the Malva thing. Malva got distribution, Filthy McNasty got distribution, and that sort of put us, you know, out there. And through that, that's when JR was like, keep making movies for me. And then Ron Bonk was like, hey, make movies for me. So we made like 11 movies for Ron Bonk. We did movies for Mike Rasso and, you know, Cam Motion Pictures and those guys. And we did the fucking Troma movie, which was a disaster. And,
but I mean, you're one of the forefronters, OG shot on video, in my mind, shot on video legends. You know, I mean, you
Todd
were doing
Sheets says we're like the second wave. You know what I mean? Like he thinks I'm part of the second wave who was doing it, because you know the Polonia brothers and Pericles Loons and Bookwalter and Todd Sheets, Todd Cook. Those guys were the pioneers.
Donald Farmer.
Yeah, Donald Farmer.
Some guys started
in the 80s, early 80s. You know, mid 80s there, and I'm the tail end of the 80s going into the 90s.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much for coming, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for sticking around with this shit, you know?
Hey, you want to hear something fucked up?
Poor guy stopped making snakes, he almost had it all figured out. Watching Worldwide magazine with a 10 strip in his mouth. He thought they faked the eclipse. I remember what he said then. I've seen AI generated clips of angels smoking darts in heaven. I hate to say it, but they probably do, because their lungs can take it. Notice that you never follow through on all the stupid shit you're saying. Poor guy stopped paying rent, he got about 6 months behind. Watching backyard wrestling bootlegs in his free time. Thought they were better than the pros. I feel dumber by the second, but I always end up back here again. It's like I never learned my lesson. I hate to say it, but it's probably real, because their bodies can take it.